What's up, everybody? It's your boy Melv here for another review. How you doing? How you doing? So today I'll be talking about my thoughts on the critically acclaimed gothic horror film by the man himself, Guillermo del Toro, Frankenstein. And damn, it has been a week, and this film became a massive success, massively, both critically and globally. Which, wow. This was a film people were hyping. It's kind of like, like last year where we were about, like kind of like with Eggers Nosferatu last year. It's the same thing like here, but damn. You'll know some difference when you see both films, and one's more darker, one else more brighter. But this film is like a love child to the and stays true to the source material of the iconic novel of Mary Shelley's. But yeah, before we begin, did you subscribe to hit the bell? If so, let's see what else is brought back to life. So yeah, this film has been talked a lot. I remember when they mentioned about this film, there were photos coming out, including of Oscar Isaac playing the role of Victor Frankenstein. When we see the laboratory and everything, which, oh, cool. Then we get clips of the monster played by Jacob Elordi, which I forgot how tall he is. I think he's more taller than like 7 foot, which damn. And damn, the art style, the gothic, man. I can't. When I go on Twitter, yes, I'm still calling that. Screw you. There are like people comparing like a list of famous gothic horror films, like like you got Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow. Another, I think the other one is Guillermo del Toro's Crimson Peak. Then you have Edgar Evans' Nosferatu, and now you have his magnum opus Frankenstein, which I agree 100%. And has to be one people. This is the films people are talking about because when you go like on Instagram, that you see people doing their own art of the film, mostly focusing on Elizabeth and the monster. Which, damn, when you see the design of the monster, which first of all, it looks damn good because most people when they relate to the famous monster, people first think of the Boris Karloff version from 1931's Frankenstein, portrayed by Boris Karloff, the Uncanny. Which, first of all, that was a different version because it's more like a modern version. In that time period, because the flat top. In reality, if you read the novel, the monster did not even look like that. If you see the other, I think the other one, the other film, the Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, starring Robert De Niro as the monster, he looks way more different. And they're quite similar, but there's some scenes that were never added. Or parts of the story that were never added. Mostly focusing on the monster and the creator. And damn, including the style, like, okay, I have to do a little nitpick. When you see like Nosferatu's all like darkish, gray, moody, sometimes the pacing of the keep going gets a bit tiresome. And when you see Frankenstein, it's all bright, colorful, but also you want more and more. And damn, you always get received. This is a film that this was a long time. And originally, Robert Egger wanted to do his take on Frankenstein, but said, "Nah, I'll let my friend Del Toro do it." Hey, and lo and behold, success. Recently, I think during an interview with Del Toro, I forget which one it was. I think when asked what was going to be his next project, he said he wants to do his take on the Phantom of the Opera, which, oh hell yeah, that'll be interesting. Here's the thing: the Phantom of the Opera is another iconic gothic horror. if he can do one mostly on the point of view of the monster, I would love to see how he takes on the famed opera ghost, like the view of Eric, the famed Phantom himself, which, as we all know, people mostly when they hear Phantom of the Opera, they think of the Broadway, the Andrew Lloyd Webber Broadway. Dude, I feel Dora was working before we were getting our makeup. You know that one of my most everybody okay. Most everybody's from background from theater background. One of them is a theater coach. And she was mentioned Phantom of the Opera, which when I mentioned that, which Phantom of the Opera's the film, you know what I'm talking about. The 1925. Tomorrow is his 100th anniversary, which when I showed them the 1925 film poster of it, he's like, wait, there's a book? I'm like, seriously? You didn't know that. You're in music. You're into theater, and you didn't know it was based on there was an actual book of it? It's like, okay, we all know about Frankenstein. We all know who it was based on a novel. Because every time we see a movie, it says Mary Shelley. That's something when you see Phantom of the Opera, like, oh, it's something written by a composer. Nope, it was written by a journalist in the 1900s, and I didn't know that there was actually a film version in Germany, but that's lost. Yeah. Then we got the 1925, which is making his 100th anniversary this Saturday, which I'm planning to do a watch review and commentary of the film. Hey, come on. 100 years? Wow. But back to Frankenstein. This is something interesting because when it comes to... I like how it both sets in the 1850s. Like, you got Nosferatu set in the... I think in the 1850s as well, but more earlier. While here, it sets in the end of the 1850s. I like how we get more. And when I first saw the film, it's the opening with the ship. I was like, wait, is it speaking German or something? Until I realized with the review, nope, it's Danish. Oh, okay. Which of course, it's in three parts. First, you got the prelude where we see the Danish ship of the Royal Danish Navy. The RDN, the Horizont. And guess who plays the captain of the ship? You want a quick guess? Come on, I'll give you a guess. The person who plays the captain is none other than Grand Admiral Thrawn himself, Lawrence McKillison, which, damn, I did not knew that was him. When I look close, wait. Is that Thrawn? That is awesome. They have Thrawn here. That's cool. Damn. I like they're all speaking Danish until he goes back from Danish to English, back and forth. And then when we see the monster, Jesus Christ, he literally goes juggernaut on most of the crew, literally. And we don't know, wait, how the hell happened? We hear this loud growl. He says, Victor! He literally just shoves everybody, kills everybody. When he gets on the ship, one of the crew pulls out a rifle blunderbuss, which, Jesus Christ, that's a hand cannon right there. They have to shoot him off the ship, which of course, it didn't work. Right now, the monster's immortal. And, oh boy, he tends to capsize the ship, but luckily, the captain managed to shoot one last shot on the ice, because, well, face it, they're on ice. So, he falls straight into the water. Which, damn. I just like it how, including the, okay, for people like, oh, this ship has to be like all digital. Nope. They actually built the ship. Everything there you see is practical effect, which is awesome. The ship right there, beautiful. Actually, I managed to order my copy of the art of the art of Frankenstein, the Guillermo del Toro from Amazon, which, man, it's the #1 book. So I'm waiting for when it arrives so I can check it out. That'll be awesome. Add to my collection. But yeah, as for the cast, you have Oscar Isaacs as or Baron Victor Frankenstein. Also, we had Christian Covey who plays the young version. You also have Jacob Elordi playing the famed monster, which, wow. A wonder performance. Mia Goth playing Elizabeth Harlander. I kind of like it in the book. It's Victor is the one who's supposed to marry Elizabeth. Here, she marries his brother, which what? And of course, he has feelings for. Oh, okay. It says she plays both roles. She played both Elizabeth Harlander and also Baroness Claire Frankenstein, who plays his mother. At first, I'm like, oh crap, she's having a miscarriage. No, she died of childbirth. Looks like internal bleeding. Yeesh. We also have David Bradley as the blind man. Wait, Bradley? David Bradley? Let me see. Wait, is that the same David Bradley we know? Let's see. Oh, hell yeah! I didn't even recognize him. It's Mr. Filch from Harry Potter. Nice. Also, he was in Game of Thrones and The Strain, but we all know him as Mr. Filch. Nice. I didn't even know it. He was the blind man. Ain't that crazy? Okay, we have also, I already mentioned Lars Mikkelsen. We have Charles Dance, which as Baron Leopold Frankenstein, which awesome. Christopher Waltz as Heinrich Harlander, also cool. Lauren Collins as Elma. Sofia Galasso. Ralph Ineson as Professor Kemp. Kemp. I heard that name before. I'm having a deja vu from Mel Brooks' Frankenstein, his version. There's actually a character called Inspector Kemp, so I thought it was that same character. And Bern Gorman as an executioner. And I didn't do this. It took all place way back in 2007. 2007, Jesus Christ, a long time. And I don't blame him. I was in middle school, and yeah, there was like a project which he would kill to make, which would be faithful. A faithful version of Mary Shelley's novel, which of course pretty much like from the 1994 Kenneth Branagh film Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which that's the one with Robert De Niro as the monster. Which, of course, following a month later, Del Toro said in his version, and he quotes, "What I'm trying to take the myth and do something with it, but combining elements of Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein without making just a classical myth of monsters. The best moment of my mind of Frankenstein, of the novel, and yet to be filmed. The only guy that has ever nailed, for me, the emptiness, not the tragic, not the Miltonin dimension of the monster, but the emptiness is Christopher Lee in the Hammer films." Which, good point, because I remember seeing his role of playing the monster in 1959's The Curse of Frankenstein, where this is his first time playing. Well, he played a silent role of the monster, while Peter Cushing plays the infamous Baron Frankenstein, but that monster was more murderous. We all know that, but still, it still has the same emptiness, which I recall. I give props for that. Which, of course, where he really looks like something obscenely alive. Of course, we have Boris Karloff has the tragedy element nailed down, but there are so many versions, including the great screenplay by Frank Darabont, that was ultimately not really filmed, which, wow, really? Cool. And there's a lot here. Okay, it says here, later that year, let's just say the film was set up through Del Toro's 3-year first look picture deal with Universal, alongside a slave film that announced that he would direct, including Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Slaughterhouse 5, and Drood, which Toro cited Bernie Woodson's 1983 Frankenstein illustration as inspiration, which awesome. The fact he was supposed to be announced to direct a film version of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, which, ooh, that'll be pretty interesting. Another gothic horror film based on the iconic story by Roy Louis Stevenson's, which I have the book right there. There's a lot here because anything that okay, if you've seen his house, it's like a horror museum that of every horror fan's dream, which is awesome. Damn. Also, he wasn't in 2013. He expressed public interest of casting Benedict Cumberbatch in the role of the creature, which okay. But unfortunately, let's see. Totoro said that he would like to do his version, both Frankenstein and The Bride, and that Universal chairperson Donna Langley had approached him several times about getting it going, but he was reluctant to do so because it is his dream project. Which, of course, that's something about studios meddling, because if you don't trust, first of all, it's Guillermo del Toro. You know he's gonna cook. He's gonna cook. He's gonna cook good. If you see some of his films like Hellboy, a lot more, Crimson Peak. I try to remember some films I do remember by name, but you know he does. Even we all remember 2022 with his stop motion epic of Collodi's Pinocchio, which that was the ultimate. He just gave the middle finger to Disney when they tried to do their remake of Pinocchio, which backfired. And I feel bad. I feel bad for Tom Hanks. They kind of ruined him. He tried to play. I think his character of Geppetto was good, but it's the studio who screwed it up big time. But yeah, it says here that I think it says here Jones late. Okay, he also had despite his it says here that despite this, he had already cast frequent collaborator Doug Jones in the role of the creature, but began initiating makeup tests with the actor. Jones later commented that the project was shelved due to Universal's future plans for their Dark Universe franchise, which of course is now an attraction at Universal Studios. Originally, the first Dark Universe movie was The Mummy. It backfired because of studio meddling. I kinda wish they put Brendan Fraser instead of Tom Cruise. That would make more sense. But yeah. They keep going until 2020. He managed to get on the move, and by 2023, after he made a deal with Netflix, after following the win of his stop-motion film, Pinocchio, at the 95th Academy Awards for Best Animated Feature, which, of course, that gave him the go to create his own version of Frankenstein. Del Toro explained about, taking his own approach of this adaptation. What I find beautiful is that when you create a universal myth, whether it's Frankenstein, Pinocchio, Dracula, or Sherlock Holmes, the myth itself rises so above the original material that any interpretation is equally faithful if done in sincerity, power, and personality. If you think in terms fidelity to the canon, you would be completely paralyzed. End quote. And this is some films like when the film was released. It was first released in the 82nd Venice International Film Festival back in August 30th of 2025. Then had its premiere in the North America region, which has in selected theaters. Well, first had his special presentation at the Toronto International Film Festival, where it screened in September 8th of 2025. It also presented in the gala presentation, the 30th Busan International Film Festival, and again as headline gala in the 69th BFI London Film Festival on October 13th. For its Mexican premiere, it's screened in the Morelia International Film Festival. It was released in selected theaters on October 17th, including selected screenings in 35mm and IMAX. But also it was released globally on Netflix on November 7th. Distribution for Mexico's release in selected theaters was handled by Bimitan Films, which, wow. Jesus Christ. That's something I do enjoy. Whew. As for response, well, a whole lot positive, I tell you what. When I say positive, I meant positive. According to Rotten Tomatoes, it has 86% of Rotten Tomatoes with 311 critics, which are positive. With the consensus reads, finding humanity in one of cinema's most iconic monsters, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is a lavish epic that gets its most invigorating votes from Jacob Elordi's standout performance. Metacritic, which of course you know is way, scored the film 78 out of 100 based on 57 critics, which are going favorable. The film has described gothic romanticism in the vein of del Toro's own films like Crimson Peak, or such films as Neil Jordan's Interview with a Vampire and Francis Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula. As for accolades, an accolade for Celebration of Cinema and Television for Oscar, which won, Gotham Awards, which it won, Vanguard Tribute with Guillermo del Toro, Oscar Isaac, and Jacob Elordi. Well, there's a lot actually, so you can check it out yourself. But as for the film, I recommend it. If you like horror, if you like the works of Guillermo del Toro, I recommend it big time. And damn, people are still watching it, reacting to it. Damn, I enjoyed it. Would I watch it again? Fuck yeah. I added it to my playlist of horror films to watch on October, which hell yeah. But yeah, I think that'll be it for today. And if you enjoyed the film, hey, I recommend it. If you haven't seen the film, go watch it now. It's on Netflix. And if you want to see more, I think there's a book I recommend. It's based on the artworks of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. There's a collector's edition where I saw like, holy shit, but it was too much for my blood. How? Let's say around, I forget how much, but damn. You got some interesting things like artworks and that. Wow. Yeah. But yeah, I recommend get yourself the book of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. You know, the art book. It's on Amazon. I recommend it. I ordered myself one, so hell yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out. But yeah, if you like this review, give a like, and also comment down below what else you want to do a reaction on or review on. As you know, Saturday is the 100th anniversary of Phantom of the Opera, so I plan to do a review of the film and a reaction on Saturday. So this is gonna be good. And also comment down below. I already said that, but hey, why not? And also, if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, like this video. That'll be awesome for me and you. Until then, have a great day, have a great night, stay safe, peace out, have a great weekend. See ya.